This is the ultimate Doom the Dark Ages beginner combat masterclass video. We'll teach you everything you need to know and more, so take notes, rewatch parts of the video, whatever you need to help. So most people say we're going to start off with the guns and melee and shield core loops of the combat, but I actually want to change it up a little bit, because no matter how good you are at those, if you don't have this, you will die. Situational awareness is understanding what is going on around me in the battlefield at all times, not just developing tunnel vision in the front, but looking what's beside and behind me. So, as I'm looking at this Mancubus over here, I realize there's a Pinky Rider over to my right. So my movement is intentional, it's on purpose to be able to keep track of what's here and also what's to beside of me. And you'll learn that from audio cues and also game knowledge. So as you're focusing on one thing, you're able to subconsciously work on the next. That is situational awareness. Developing tunnel vision only focuses on what is directly ahead of you and will absolutely get you killed. Now, in addition to that, you have movement, which is moving with purpose. You don't want to just move just really fast because you are supposed to in a Doom game. You want to move with intent and purpose behind it to put yourself in good positions so you can survive. Bad positioning puts you in a corner in a bad spot to where you get destroyed, and then you blame the game and die when it's not the game's fault. So those are really the core elements of Doom, is the... Look at this, watch this. Oh, that's so nice. Those are the core elements in which you need to know. So when you look at the guns, I see different enemies and different aspects. Your guns are just a toolbox for you. They're tools in a toolbox. Everyone has a different purpose. So I look at this Pinky Rider up ahead of me and I say, well, I want to use my Impaler to snipe him off if I can. That way I don't have to deal with the Pinky Rider, but just the Pinky itself. Because I'm situationally aware and I know that this Pinky is over to the side, I'm able to watch this guy out of my peripheral vision and know that he was shooting me with a red shot I can block. So when it comes to this point, we have to prioritize which target is most important. Right now, we're being attacked by this Pinky up close here. He's putting the pressure on us as a pressure unit, as the Mancubi and the other enemies are in the distance raining down on us. So I can lock him down with my shield saw and focus on someone else if I want to, or use this as an opportunity to get close and use my super shotgun. Each gun has a purpose, and each tool, and as we go through this today, you will be seeing some of the different things that you can do with it. Now this big Mancubus here, we want to parry that back. Now when he's stunned, what can we do? We don't want to come in for an opening like this without him being stunned, because we will get blasted, even though we can parry this back a little bit. It's all about finding the openings and understanding what to use when. So in a distance like this, the Reaver chain shot's great because it can break some of the armor off, maybe like plasma as well. You want to really remember the enemies and their attack patterns. So understand he has this parryable to this side, this parryable to this side, and straight down the middle, my shots are blocked. So if I know this, I can hit him at this angle, come back, hit him at this angle. You'll also learn that you don't have to dead on directly parry. You don't have to come like right in front and parry this way. You can parry it off to the side and it still goes back directly to him there. That's created an opening for me. But as you notice, the opening is expired, so I have to scoot back again, and I can't just keep going up ahead. I also want to use the right weapon for the job, so maybe I will use the Impaler when I'm more at a distance to snipe him for the headshots, and then come in close with a parry, fire. Now what you'll also notice is the parrying with the shield is very crucial. The shield itself is just amazing. You can bounce it off the ground, you can do whatever you want with it, you can recall it, but it's important to realize that the parry is a musical endeavor. What do I mean by that? So you'll learn that enemies have different parries that they can do, so you will think of them in terms of music. You'll learn the rhythm. If you notice that Mancubus was ding, ding, and done. So you can think of it as timing. You don't want to just constantly just be hitting your shield up because you're not going to do much with that. Think of it as musical, and over time you will learn what the different enemies ask of you. So the Mancubus is ding, ding, left and right, and then other enemies might be ding, ding, ding with a little delay there. Now, with the situational awareness, you're also not just going to be worried about what's in front of me, but the enemies to your side and parrying them as well. So there's a lot going on. Being aware of those arachnotron bombs on the ground, knowing that they're not going to expire for a minute, so I need to stay away from that area. It's an area of denial attack. So this arachnotron up here is a very rough enemy. He is very much an oppressive firing, because when you're focusing on all these other enemies around you, he's pelting you down and you feel like that you're going to die. So how do you deal with something like this? Well, you can't stand out in the open very long, so you can use your shield saw to stun him and then go in for a super shotgun blast. Or maybe you just want to do a shield bash into SSG combo. It's understanding the weaknesses of the enemies and how you can take them down. And I think really the best thing we can do is to do a big fight and show everything in real time. So let's just go right into a real fight and I'll give you a step by step. So this armor here respawns, so I learned that. We know that there are a lot of formation enemies back here for our armor if we want to do it. Easily light them up with the super shotgun in order to break them all. Now we have a lot of fodder here. What's a good option? Well, we can use the pulverizer skull crusher because it's good for a lot of fodder demons, big crowds like this. The knight, you know, we're really going to get up close and personal with him, so we want to be very, very aggressively mobile. The 1, 2, look at the musical rhythm. So he's a parry and strike. Because we're so close, the super shotgun's a fantastic choice. It would be a terrible choice for the imps right here since we can barely hit them. So watch, right hand parry, block. So you have to look at the rhythm and the music. Ready? Boom. Now he actually stuns him as well. Let's actually get to the tougher enemies up here. So these are our armor, always keeping track of our resources, using the shield to dash around the level as we break this meter down. Okay, we have a Pinky Rider. What can we do here? He's got a long-range attack that I don't want to deal with, so I will snipe him off with the Impaler. Let's say that we do want to deal with him. He has the wave attack, and it's a simple one-shot parry to knock him back. So at a distance like this, we could go in for something a little bit closer, but we weren't close enough to go in for melee, so I didn't make the move. It wasn't comfortable doing it. Strike. Now we are. Melee. Going to back out into gun. Now we know he's in daze, so we can knock him off the top. Super shotgun there. Here's another Pinky Rider, so we just do the same thing here since we're up close. Now I'm also, of course, playing on an in-game file, so it's a little more powerful, but the idea still remains. Now we know that we're kind of low on armor. We see these guys up here, so we're able to knock them out and take it. So we have the leader here. We don't want to go for him just yet, but we do see our target is the Cyber Demon at a distance. This is a great example to show you here today. So the Cyber Demon is a double parry, is how I like to refer to him. So we come up here. He is very interesting because Hugo Martin, when I played this game early in March, told me that you are supposed to go close to fight the Cyber Demon, and he will use an attack to lure you into him. So the point of this is to get close. Try to get right up in his face so you could do parry, shoot, parry. Right here's a melee opportunity. So you see I'm going parry. He has a series of 2 attacks he'll do, and he'll also stomp down. But if I get too far away, you notice that I'm not playing into his combat loop. This is not a good place to fight the Cyber Demon because he is very nasty if you're far away. Now you also see the other enemies are kind of taunting me here, so we want to keep them in check as well, but our main focus goes to the Cyber Demon. Reaver Chain Shot is a great option for something like this. Parry, parry, shot, parry. And you want to use the shield against him in this way because you want to have it for the parries in the back. So parry, parry, shot, melee. And he is easily down with a little bit of, like I said, in-game fire. Ready? Parry, parry. I could have got a shot in between there, but I didn't, but that's okay. And notice I go in for 1 melee. I see the opportunity, but I don't overstay the welcome because I know what else I can do with him here. Parry, parry, shot, melee, and he is down. Now let's take a look at the leader demon here as we get pretty close. Now there's a Mancubus up at the top. What can we do against him? Well, we could just shield bash right up to him to get the mobility, but that won't give us a very good opportunity. So we could lock him down the distance, use something that gets a little bit of range on him while we keep eye on the guy on the right. So once the Mancubus goes down, the leader is beaten. So now we know long range shot to parry. He's locked down, but we also have other enemies in the distance here. It's going to be a little tougher because now we have the imps that are coming in to invade our space. Nightmare imps that also are hard to see. We have everything else going on around us here. Very, very oppressive. As you can see, they're just trying to knock me down while I'm trying to focus on this guy. And because I did not have that opening, the shield bash was a terrible choice there. So he has armor. So what we'll do is, since it's bright, we know we can shield saw to take that armor off or use the Reaver Chain Shot in order to break that armor. So we have a melee opening in, back out. Don't overstay your welcome. That's such a key point here. But we now have the Rider off the top, so we now are only dealing with the close range Pinky. But remember, we have other enemies as well. We can climb around the arena, use different things to our advantage to go up high. Okay, how are we going to deal with this knight? Let's take a look at him. Parry, SSG, beautiful combo, but also keeping him in mind here. We can't really lock him down. He's a leader. He's kind of strong. So what do we want to do? What would be our choice here? We want to do a long-range weapon. We could even do the Shredder since it's a type of machine gun. That was really doing a lot of damage to him as it's upgraded. The Cycler as well. Keep an eye on these barrels. Knowing that the Stone Imp you want to dash into with the shield, but not right there. He's in front of all those barrels. Successfully did that. So as we're up close, we can use a super shotgun. Typically don't want to be that close. I would say maybe that weapon, the Cycler. Anything from a distance to be able to understand where that enemy is, what his strengths are, what his weaknesses are, to have situational awareness, movement, and positioning to put you in the right position to use the guns, the melee, and the shield that you need to do the job. Oftentimes in Doom the Dark Ages, you'll have a big enemy like this ahead of you, and there may be a couple along the side, but mostly big. So remember the patterns that we learned about. So this Baggery here has a couple of launch, single projectiles. Then he goes into this with another launch, single. Can you catch the rhythm to that? So let's go in for a melee once we open him up with the parry so we can do it, because we don't want to do it right now. So launch, boom, boom, and he's already stunned. So he's a bit of a steady rhythm. He's an earlier in the game enemy, so it's very straightforward as far as how you want to parry him, because you can see, right, boom, boom. He's a little bit easier there. It does get kind of nasty because you'll have to do multiple parries for multiple enemies. Boom, the opening is left. Come in, melee. See, that was a little rough because it was cutting it a little bit close since he was able to attack me shortly after. But even then, I'm still looking at the melee. I was a little late on my window there. See, each one has a different windup that you have to consider as well, because every enemy is different, and part of your success will be learning what rhythms and what music to play, what instrument, as you go in for each of these fights. Just like that. Now let's test this out in a bit of a different arena. Now we have a bunch of small fodder enemies here and a couple of the tanks in the background, so we know that the Skullcrusher Pulverizer would be a good choice because of the multiple fodder. Now what a lot of folks will run into is that they'll get in this mode where it's all powered up and they'll just go all straight ahead, Leroy Jenkins style, and they will forget about their defense. They'll start getting hit by projectiles left and right in an attempt to just get all this damage out. So even when you get in a flow state like this, you still have to remember that it takes focus and also not to let your defenses go completely to waste. These guys are tricky because they're very fast, but there is a rhythm to them, and it only takes one shot. They're a bit of a glass cannon of sorts, but you notice there were one on each side of the arena, and we had to watch. So we saw parry, parry, parry to the side, block, because there are things going on behind us that we have to predict and understand what they're doing, and we can use the reticles on the screen to help us dodge attacks and stay on the move so we can deflect just like that. Good opening for melee, another melee, and another one. Now I'm going to back out. Nope, stay right there. Now I'm going to back out, not overstay my welcome. Lock him in with this, come in close, and done. You'll eventually learn an enemy's health and the different thresholds they have. You'll understand what works for the different enemies. You need to do this shot, you need to do that one. Okay, now that means they're at this much health, so I can use this finisher. You'll also understand your, so parry. They both got stunned, and they both were close enough to each other that the extra pellets from the super shotgun will pay off. There's little things like that that you'll catch up on in time that really help you out. Subscribe if you like videos like this. I'm going to have more coming to you, and check out my other guide here. Thank you for watching.